Welcome to Faith, Family, Fitness, Freedom on 100.7 The Word. I'm Jason Lupo with my co-host, Jim Miller.
Hello, hello.
And joined today, Jim's daughter,
Niece.
Jaylen.
Hi.
How you doing, Jaylen?
Good.
Are you excited to be on the show with us today?
Very much.
All right, well, today we're going to explore the world of our youth in today's culture and in today's society. Jaylen, what's your favorite part about being a kid? Because most of us forget what it's like to be 11 years old again.
I mean, I do like to be able to go with people and places, without it being weird or whatever. Apparently.
Going to places and it not being weird. All right. There's an 11-year-old's answer to what's your favorite thing as being a kid. I thought it was going to be like puppies and rainbows and butterscotch or gummies or like, I like anime. Because you like animes, right?
Yeah, I do like anime.
There you go. I showed her what Ninja Scroll was.
Okay, are you a big fan of Ninja Turtles like your uncle is? She gives us the thumbs up.
We got to talk. We got to, because radio, nobody can see you. It's not smell-o-vision. So go ahead. You guys got to chit-chat and talk while you're doing stuff.
Okay. But yeah, I am a pretty big fan. I keep it a little bit hidden though. Just cause some of my friends think it's weird.
So Ninja Turtles is not the cool thing in town right now?
No.
You wouldn't know about it if it wasn't for your uncle?
Right? Probably it's my fault. Cowabunga.
So with the modern age technology, I mean, do you spend a lot of time talking to people on an iPad or iPhone?
Actually, yes.
Okay. Can you imagine that back in our day, like we didn't have iPads and iPhones to communicate with people?
First, we're boys, and second, we were like, what? Is that a rock and some dirt? It came with a stick? This is awesome. And a pine cone? Wow. Are those bugs? We could throw bugs at each other. I can throw a dirt clod at you or a pine cone. You know what? This stick is now a gun. Let's play battle. Oh, I'm going to ride my bicycle with a stick into each other. Let's get some garbage can lids. We can all be knights and joust. Let's go ride a wagon down a hill as fast as we can and flip off it and crush our face and be all skinned up, bleeding everywhere. No, I can't imagine it. My gosh. Remember when they introduced like a Game Boy? That was like crazy interesting. Game Boys and then like the Sega Game Gear. That's about as much technology as we had. Nintendo, Atari. Jeez. A cell phone in our era? I wouldn't know what to do. They'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm getting motion sickness. If I'm going to puke, just send in the text.
So, do you spend? It's summer right now. I mean, what are you doing during the summer?
Watching TV, on call with my friends. Sometimes I go outside just to play a little bit, I guess.
Okay. Do you enjoy playing outside? Do you spend a lot of time outside?
I would say a little bit of time. I have been staying inside for most of the time recently, though.
And do you play any sports?
No, but I would like to start playing soccer.
Okay. And do you play any instruments or do you do anything else?
No, but I would like to learn how to play the guitar and also a piano.
And Jim, how many nieces and nephews do you have?
I have two nieces, and then I have my son and my daughter, but they're teenagers, so they don't like me as much anymore. I'm not that cool.
So the nieces are the cool ones now.
Ah, yeah, just right-hand drive JDM cars and stuff. They're like, this is awesome, and they're like, what? You made this? And I'm like, I did, and they're like, whoa. And they get more excited about stuff than I do most of the time. So it's good. It lets you see what the work and all the effort's worth doing, especially when you're exhausted and you're like, oh, cool. And you get excited about it, especially being a parent or an uncle. You're like, oh, cool. You want to watch a movie with me? And they'll show you stuff too you don't know. You'll be like, what show is this? And it'll be like some weird cartoon or something. And you're like, oh, it's entirely different than anything I've ever seen.
Does hanging around your nieces and nephews keep you young?
I think it keeps me probably young and keeps me a little more level, grounded, and based too. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to articulate, but it it's when I get time to hang out with them, especially nowadays, I try to be a lot more present because I usually overwork and stuff, but I've been pretty good with my nieces and stuff to, like, spend time with them, I think. But, yeah, it makes it worth it. It's nice. It's good. It shows you what it's worth. It kinda reminds you sometimes, like, being a kid and questioning stuff. You're like, "What?" And it kinda reminds you of you're like, "Look, there's certain things when you gotta talk to the kids, slow down. It's not my era of growing up. This is kind of a recent thing because my era, I mean, you got yelled at and stuff. It was just chores and work and yelled at, go to school, get things done. You better dig this ditch, cut that wood, get that chop, do this, yada yada. That was growing up. And it's not like that nowadays. It's a much calmer, easier thing. So you got to slow down.
So, last week we talked about fatherhood and we
Yeah.
talked about family. I mean, now that we're a week past that episode, what comes to mind just from last week? I mean, did you have any more revelations? Did you have any more thoughts after last week's show?
I think to a point with everything that transpired, the bad, the terrible, everything with stuff, it's good because if you're someone like me, you'll turn it into good by improving. And I did learn that no matter what, it's your fault. You put yourself to the point. I go 5 or 6 months usually without taking a day off and not being present for moments, and that's not a good way to be. Even if you are doing what I'm doing where you're building up for the family, it's not the best way to be. They'd prefer to hang out with you, spend some time. I mean, we watched a bunch of cartoons and stuff. What did we watch yesterday? The Minecraft movie, right? Was that it?
Minecraft movie.
With the I'm Steve, right? And then the arcadey dude. I could do the dual game of buff guys or whatever with the Aquaman dude. But what did you think of the movie?
It was pretty cool.
I don't know, it was interesting. I didn't really know much about Minecraft as an adult. I'm like, "What? This is like Legos on video games or something." It's like Legos with Legos, but digitally, and you're like it's like putting a hat on a hat to me, but it was still fun to watch the movie because their perspective's different than mine.
Well, and it gives them an opportunity to like be creative and explore and I guess do things whereas we've eliminated some of those physical activities from so many lives of our young people that at least replacing them with a video game that kind of replicates some of that creativity and that
Fun,
building.
creativity and artsy stuff. What do you think? What's your thoughts on Minecraft?
So honestly, I've only played it really once, but I honestly think it's pretty cool, and I would like to start playing it more.
Okay, what's your thoughts on the Minecraft movie? How many Jaylens do you give it out of 5 Jaylens? Does it get 1 Jaylen or 2 Jaylens? How many Jaylen rating does a Minecraft movie get?
I guess 10 Jalen's.
10 out of 5 Jaylens. So a really good movie. Highly recommended. I haven't seen it. Maybe I should go see it.
I didn't really have much interest in watching it, and I watched it, and I was like, "Okay, it's actually pretty funny." It's kinda goofy, but, the kids like that kinda stuff, and it's kinda nice to kinda see things from their perspective sometimes.
So, Jim, you've turned your life upside down a little bit this last week. Simplified, I think was the word that you've been using
Yeah.
in trying to kind of I guess bring the chaos down a couple levels.
Yeah, bring everything down to a more manageable sense and not run myself so thin. Obviously, I'll still keep some of the valuable stuff for the higher end stuff for the kids later. Because I'm one of those people that wants to build up generationally. I come from nothing, and I don't want them to be ever cold and hungry. And I get wrapped up in that stuff. And then if I do get pretty wound up with things, and I'm usually a pretty wound up person. I haven't really been that wound up in the last few days, making some progress and seeing all the things that make me stress out and getting rid of, extra vehicles and just extra stuff and just things in the way, clutter. Cause a lot of your life is a reflection of your mind. You know what I mean? And if you're cluttered everywhere, you're cluttered probably in your mind. If you're stressed from the clutter and all the excess and all the stress, so you're probably stressing yourself out too and making it worse. So it's good, right? Spring cleaning in the summer. Yay. Wrong season.
Hey, it's a little bit hotter. Maybe it's a little bit more of a dehydrating task than it would have been in the spring, but
Yeah.
and we're doing the same here.
Yeah. And the thing with everything is sometimes you got to have some pretty bad consequences and bad things happen and to do better, to even notice. Cause like I say, I'm like, man, I can give you salt all day, but you don't know it's salty till you put it in your mouth, you know? Then you're like, ugh, it's not good and it's too much. And it's all right. So probably honestly, it was inevitable regardless for me to make some big self-improvement steps and be more present with especially the family stuff. And I mean, this is my niece. She's 11. I've known her my whole life. So, you know, that's insane. I've known her whole life, I guess.
Yeah,
I would have said.
my nieces and nephews are out of state. I wish I could see them all the time, and disappointingly, I can't. But
And it's just spend more family time. That's all I got to say. If not, you're going to be alone with stuff. Don't be alone with stuff. Just spend the time with your family. That's the whole reason you do everything. It's the whole reason you're responsible. It's the whole reason you try to be accountable. Don't turn it into a thing where you're working so much you're resenting everybody and getting grumpy seeing them have fun, because that was the whole point of your working, so they could have fun and be less stressed. And yeah, you got to take some stuff as a burden on your shoulders, being what used to be, you know, being a man, or what do they call it, a classical man, because you're going to bear the burden. You got whatever it is. You're financially responsible for everything. You got to take care of that. That's what it is. It's fine. Doesn't matter about what era or whatever's going on in society. Just do it. Be done with it. Smile. Try to take the time. Take the time. There's not enough time. And there's never enough time to be better. Just really, we're one of few species that can learn from each other. So if anything, I hope someone learns from me and corrects whatever behavior. If you're just at work all the time and stressed, your family probably doesn't want that. They probably want to see you. They probably want to spend some time with you. Go play I don't know, backgammon or the game of life with them or something. I don't know, a video game, a board game, and watch a movie. Sit there and talk to them. Have a barbecue. Don't clutter up your deck, your life, your house, your shop, your garage, your property. Just relax. Relax. There's always going to be work. You can stop. You can stop. You can stop and be like, there's still going to be work tomorrow. It's a weird mindset for me because I still have quite a struggle with it because I'm like, I better work. And I'm like, I need to stop. I need to stop. I'm overwhelming myself. Time schedules are overlapping. It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to be late. It's okay.
wow, what a wonderful couple words of advice from Jem. Well, the workplace is not a family, and that's a good thing. This is an article from Forbes by Benjamin Laker. I can pronounce that name. Take that, Jim.
Nice. For once, you might have to use AI and 12 other steps and one of those enunciation apps.
Hey, some of these names are hard to pronounce. But anyways, you may have often heard the phrase, we are not just a team, we are a family. Leaders often annoyingly say it with pride, believing it signals trust, care, and loyalty. It's become a common way to suggest that work is about more than just performance. But that message is more complicated than it seems. Families are pretty permanent. They are bound by emotion, not contract. At home, love is assumed. At work, it is not. A job is a place of contribution, not identity. And when a workplace starts sounding like a family, it often brings confusion, blurred roles, and misplaced expectations.
Yeah, it's probably good that your workplace isn't your family, because that's not a lie. The person with the cubicle or the thing across from you, or the other guy with the shovel and the things, if you're ahead of them or anything else, they probably don't like you or trying to get rid of you and act like they like you. Or they're probably trying to take whatever promotion or other thing you have too, whether it's office or out in the dirt in the field or whatever it is kind of job.
So, I mean, here's what it goes on to say. It says, describing a team as family may sound warm, but it often leads to unclear boundaries. Employees begin to feel pressure to act like relatives, not professionals. Saying no becomes harder. So does giving honest feedback. Promotions can feel personal. Departures feel like betrayal. In these settings, people may feel obligated to give more than they should, staying late, taking on extra work, or avoiding conflict. They may fear disappointing a manager who plays the role of protector or parent. The workplace becomes emotionally loaded and performance gets tied to loyalty. This doesn't create high-functioning teams. It creates quiet resentment and confusion about what matters most.
It sounds like it's some corporate angle to be making themselves benefit while the rest of us suffer in anguish, probably mentally more than anything else, I guess, which is a new experience for me. Understanding how mental anguish is and all this stuff. That's really new to me because usually I'm like, yeah, whatever, get over it. And I actually am starting to see what that is and understand it. It is a real thing. And once you get a little mental anguish from a situation that you basically created, you're like, holy crap, is that what I'm doing to everybody else and not even noticing? My God, I made a bunch of people I care about feel really, really crappy, and it's probably more impactful and longer standing than a black eye. I'm not saying go beat people. I'm just saying it's a black eye can heal a lot of that brain stuff stays there a long time.
It's almost cultish to a certain degree too, right? Like when you're in that position that, it's like you can't disappoint somebody that you work with. Well, at the end of the day, like you're collecting a paycheck to do a job.
It's like I say, if I go to a place and somebody's like, "Oh, well, this and that with you," I was like, "You understand you're paid to be here, not me." Well, you're just picking up a product or a service, and if you don't wanna talk to me, it's okay. I can go to another place and get a product or a service. Why are you? Because I do hold an obscure record. I think I have 9 different companies, and I don't work at them that have called HR on me. And it's not like anything like bad or nothing. It's just me joking around and doing my thing and people being offended and upset and going, "Oh my god," and I get a call from, like, a company that I don't work at, and I was like, "You guys understand I don't work there." "Well, you said you wouldn't trust that person watching wet paper bags dry," and I was like, I wouldn't. They're just not a very intelligent person." I was like, "I don't know what to say. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't hire them, and I don't think they could handle watching wet paper bags dry." I'm from a different era. I'm from the work and earn it and be loyal era. I'm outdated product, to be honest with you. So a lot of things I've discovered in the last few weeks are very new to me and still a little obscure, and I'm absorbing them and learning, but it's just strange. But yeah, it's usually me saying something like that. I'm like, "Ooh, someone hired you, huh? Someone felt bad for you that day."
Yeah, I think we got to a point where, like, you look at some of the tech startups, things like that, where they were sleeping in offices, they had napping spaces, they had ping pong tables in the middle of the. And I walked into some of these businesses, I have seen it firsthand, right? They have like a recreation area for their employees so that they stay in the office long.
Been near a break room, but yeah, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, I mean, some of these break rooms are crazy when they have these tech startups and even some of these tech companies like.
I was happy, like Fayette book all stuff, but yeah, you're talking about like full fledged, like here's a tanning booth and da da da, like the Google's ones and the face pager ones, and you're like, what? You work at a place where they just try to have you live here?
Well, and that's the mindset that we've had, like, as Americans for so long. I mean, if you look at other countries, a lot of them work on 4-day work weeks, right? They work 4 days. And so this idea that, like, you have to work overtime, you have to be, bought into your job, you have to give all that you have to your job, neglect your family. I mean, that's an American thing that I think is, we're starting to see that shift.
No, the disappointing, disgusting, and disgraceful part for like my situation is that I work for myself and I was doing that to myself. Like that's insane. It's all self-inflicted. It's my fault. Because I just thought I had to keep working, and the only way to be useful and to the family is to keep working to a point where I started resenting everybody and being mad all the time and mean. I mean, what do you think, Jaylen? You don't have a job. What do you think of workplace being family? Any thoughts?
I don't know anything about work considering I don't work.
Okay. Well, what if it was like at school and they're telling you your classmates are now your family?
How? Classmates? I don't want to be family with my classmates. They're weird.
Okay. So like you're a kid and you know better than I do. That's insane.
I think that, getting to that point, even being self-employed and getting to that point, it has a lot to say about the broader culture, though, and the fact that, like, we were raised by people that sold their soul to the company, right?
Yeah, that old thing, a nickel for me and 10 cents at the company store. Right? Yeah, that's how it went.
Yeah,
Or a dime for me and $1 at the company store I spent.
yeah.
And you're just like, whoa, what the heck? And you start thinking about some of it, and you're like, why is this? Peasants in the feudal times worked less than we do now. It's a proven like historical fact. There's no disputing it. They hung out with their family. They had times of the season to cultivate and get food and get stuff stored up for the winter, and they chilled out. They chilled out a lot. Even a famine season, you're working like, what were they working? Like 6 months of the year on a famine? 8 months? And then you look at it, a lot of us do work 6, 7 days a week. I work a lot of 7-day, 13-hour days. I'm not doing that anymore. I refuse to. I've pushed away everybody I love from just prioritizing work and earning and doing, going. And even if you are doing it for your family, they don't notice that. They notice you being mad and angry all the time.
We're gone and not present.
Yeah, which if out of sight, out of mind, kind of forgotten. And then you're just sitting there going, "Oh, I'm here for the minute. Oh, I gotta hurry up because I gotta get sleep so I can get to the job tomorrow. I gotta hurry up and get done with this family event so I can go get this next job done." Why? The work will be there tomorrow. Your family might not be. Think about it smarter. Be way savvier. You know, it's more important by far.
100%. I'm glad that you were sharing this on this program because thank you. I mean, not everybody's willing to share things like that on the radio in public. I know that as hosts of radio shows, we tell a lot about our personal lives and we tell stories about what's happened in our daily lives and the things that have come to our minds and the realizations that we've had, but it doesn't always make it easy and it
Be honest, I feel a lot of shame and disgust in myself. But if I can help prevent someone else from doing it, then it might be more optimal, It might help somebody. And then they don't have to deal with it the way I'm having to deal with it or face it or learn of it. Cause it is a pretty sour spot to be in. It's it's interesting, and I didn't even notice any of it. That's the worst part of it. But like I said, you only know it's bad once it's bad. And, some of us quote unquote classical men, we only learn the hard way. You can tell me it's hot. I don't know it's hot till I burn myself. And I usually got to burn myself a couple times because the first 3 or 4 times I'm too focused on doing other stuff to even notice I burned myself. And it's got to be blistering and skin peeling and bleeding everywhere. And then I'm like, oh, that was hot. I shouldn't have leaned on that. So hopefully it's helpful. Yeah, hopefully I can correct things and rectify my circumstance. And hopefully this will help someone else just stop for a minute and think and be like, man. And I have to say, because I'm from the era of like, you got to be a tough guy. You got to take your blunts. You gotta take your hits. You got to take your lickings. You got to get back up. You got to put everything on your shoulder. You got to hold everybody else's guilts and sins and problems on you. You don't need to do that. It's okay. You can care without taking everybody else's stuff on your shoulder. You can stop. You can slow down. You can value those few important times. This isn't one of those goofy things where it's like, I'll never compromise my happiness. Happiness is fleeting. Love is pretty much, and it's eternal, I guess, for sounding a little corny on things. And then honestly, it's pretty vulnerable the way I am right now with stuff. But I had to figure out that that takes probably more strength than just showing the only emotion of anger and rage and lashing out and starting to resent everybody I'm doing stuff for and not spending the time. So, I mean, I don't know. You're my niece. What do you think? You think I'm doing a little better and being a lot calmer and less grumpy?
Actually, yes. You are being less grumpy. You're being a lot calmer. Uh, Forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, it's all right. Those are still nice things. I think I'm just trying to be a little more time of being in the moment.
I think it's awesome that you've come to these realizations and honestly, Aaron was sitting in the studio last week too. Aaron's not with us right now, and I was sitting in there as newly married and a baby on the way, and just reflecting on some of the stuff that you've said and having the ability to edit it and listen to it all again. And it definitely, as you're listening to this show, and if you missed last week's show, I mean, go look it up. It's on YouTube and Rumble. But just some really heartfelt talk about what it looks like to be a part of the family and the fact that life is overwhelming and we've been sold this false bag of goods that we just need to work, 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 work. And that's a really hard realization for a man to come to, especially self-employed, and somebody that's seriously given everything that they got to their job for so long and their work for so long. Coming out of that is extremely difficult.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do for relaxing or fun. So I did talk to some other friends. I'm like, what do you do? They're like, don't you still own like a motorcycle and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I haven't ridden it since, like, car accidents years and years ago," you know, and they're like, "Do some of the stuff you used to do, just check it out, see if you still like it," and I'm like, "Oh, crap, I got gear, I might as well go ride, I might as well watch a movie." I never finish a movie. If I do it like I was doing before, it would take me, like, 3 or 4 days to watch a movie because 'cause I'd watch part of it and fall asleep or have to go to sleep, and I wouldn't get any of it done, and I wouldn't know. So, it's just not a good spot to be in, and you shouldn't do it. It's not the family stuff's much more important. I prefer spending time with the kids and stuff for sure. I mean, my niece, I think's enjoyed it,
Yes, I do.
so
Well, thank you for joining us, Jaylen. And thank you, Jim. This has been Faith, Family, Fitness, Freedom. Join us every Saturday and online, YouTube and Rumble. Have a great day. God bless.
yep, if you want it better, be better.